You know what's strange about being the last one left? The silence gets loud after a while. I'm the only one still standing at a gathering that broke up a long, long time ago. Everybody I ever cared about, they're gone. Every single one. My wife, my friends, the guys I argued with over baseball scores, even the people I couldn't stand, the ones who made my blood boil, they're gone too. And before every last one of them walked out of this world, they all turned around and asked me the exact same thing. Every single one of them. They'd look at me and say, "Walter, what's your secret, man? How are you still here?" And every single time I gave them the same answer. I said, clean food, simple food, real food. And I meant it. I really believed that. But here's the thing that started eating at me as the years kept piling on. The people who did everything right, they left just as fast as the ones who didn't. The ones who ate like monks, exercised every single morning, followed every rule their doctor gave them. They went just the same, sometimes even sooner. So I started asking myself, well then, what was the actual difference? Because clearly it wasn't what I thought it was. I've had a whole lot of quiet mornings sitting in this chair with nothing but that question sitting across from me. And what I worked out, it had nothing to do with what was sitting on my dinner plate. Diet was never the real reason I'm still here. When I was your age, I thought eating the right things would protect me from everything. I thought if I just did the food part correctly, life would hold together. But then I started losing people one by one, and I started paying closer attention. And what I noticed changed everything I thought I knew. My name is Walter. I'm 105 years old. I drove a taxi cab for 41 years in this city. Rain, snow, middle of the night, didn't matter. And I still wake up every single morning right around 6 o'clock without an alarm. I still walk into that kitchen and brew my own coffee, the same way I've been doing it longer than most people watching this have been alive. I still come back and sit in this same chair, this exact chair that I've been sitting in for going on 47 years now. The chair right across from me, the one facing mine, has been empty for 11 years now. I stopped moving it a long time ago. Stopped trying to pretend it wasn't empty. People come through here all the time. Reporters, doctors, neighbors, researchers from universities. They all show up wanting the same thing. They get their little notebooks out and they ask, "Walter, what do you eat? How many hours do you sleep at night? Do you take any supplements, any vitamins? Do you drink?" And I give them what they came for. I run through the list. They nod, they write it all down real fast like they just cracked the code, and then they leave looking satisfied. I'll give you that list too. I'm not going to hold it back. But if that's where I stop with you, you're going to walk away with the same empty answer they got. You'll feel like you learned something, but you'll have missed the whole point. Because every single person who ever sat across from me and interviewed me, not one of them ever leaned in and asked the real question. Not once. Nobody ever said, "Walter, how do you keep waking up and choosing to be here after everybody you loved is gone?" Nobody ever asked, "Walter, what does it even feel like to be 105 years old and still believe the morning means something?" Those were the questions I was always sitting here waiting for somebody to ask. And in all these years, in all these conversations, nobody ever got there. They wanted the food list. They wanted the sleep schedule. They wanted something they could put on a chart. Look, if sleep alone was enough to stretch a life out, half the people I grew up with would still be breathing. Sleep is good. Sleep matters, but it's not the answer. Okay, you want the list. Here it is. 2 eggs every morning, fried in real butter. Not that stuff in a tub, actual butter. Real meat a couple times a week. Vegetables that came out of the ground, not a can. Bread, water, black coffee, plain. No powders, no pills, no supplements, no vitamins. And yeah, I'll be straight with you. A small piece of chocolate after dinner most nights. And on the cold nights, a little whiskey. Not much, just enough to remind myself it's cold outside. I never starved myself. I never made myself feel guilty for eating something that tasted good. I never sat at a table looking at a plate of food like it was something to be afraid of. And here's what I watched happen to the people who did. The ones who turned food into a whole religion, who counted every single calorie, who tracked every meal in a little book, who felt shame every time they ate something off the list. Most of those people were absolutely miserable at the table. And in my 105 years of watching people, miserable people do not stick around long. There's something about carrying that kind of tension inside you at each meal. It wears on a person. There was a doctor. I can't remember exactly what year it was. It was a long time back. Young man, sharp-looking, very sure of himself. He looked at my numbers and told me my cholesterol was going to take me out before I hit 60. Said it like he was reading a verdict. 60. I remember thinking, that's not very far from here. I outlived that man. Found out years later when I ended up at that same hospital for something else. I asked about him. The nurse got quiet. He was gone. I didn't say a word. Just walked back out to my cab and drove home. Write the list down if you want. It's real. None of it is made up. But what I'm about to tell you matters 10 times more than anything on that list. Because nutrition, eating right, that's just one tiny piece of a much bigger picture. Back when I was still behind the wheel, I had a regular fare for almost 4 years, twice a week. Same pickup spot, same hospital. Couldn't forget his name if I tried. Dr. Polson, nutritionist, had written actual books. Gave lectures at conferences. The man understood food the way a musician understands an instrument, deep, inside out. Sitting in my back seat, he'd be on the phone coaching his patients, telling them exactly what to cut, exactly what to add, exact portions, exact timing. I probably learned more about food from listening to him in that back seat than most people learn in a year of studying. One afternoon, I got bold and just asked him straight up, "Doctor, what do you think the real secret is to a long, healthy life?" He got quiet for a second, and he said, "Walter, eat lean, sleep well, and stay away from stress." I said, "You do all 3 of those yourself?" We sat there listening to the engine for a moment. Then he said, "I eat clean, I sleep all right. The stress part." He paused. I never could figure that one out. Dr. Polson passed away in his 70s. I drove his wife to the memorial service. I think about him still. That man had more knowledge about the body than almost anyone I ever met. Wrote books about it, lectured about it. And the one thing that was quietly pulling him apart from the inside, he could name it, he knew exactly what it was, and he still could not put it down. If a perfect diet was enough to carry a man, he would have lived to be 100 easy. But it wasn't enough, because the real answer wasn't sitting on any plate. I came to understand that because of Margaret. Margaret and I were together for 58 years. 58! And I was a decent husband in all the ways that are easy to point to on paper. I worked hard, I came home every night, I never ran off anywhere. I kept the lights on and the bills paid. But she used to say something to me over and over, year after year.
She'd look at me sitting right here in this chair after a long shift, and she'd say, "Walter, your body is in this house, but you're still out there driving that cab. Come back home." And I'd nod like I understood, but I didn't. Not really. Not until it was almost too late. What she was saying to me, that's actually one of the reasons I'm still here. Because when I finally retired, I fell apart in a quiet way that nobody saw coming. No more shift, no more route, no more passengers to pick up, no schedule waiting for me. I'd wake up at 6 like always, make my coffee, sit down in this chair and just wait. For what? I didn't know. For something to happen, for the day to give me something to do. 1 month went by like that, then 2. Margaret would pass through, ask if I wanted more coffee. I'd say yes, she'd bring it. I'd drink it, and that was the whole day. My entire existence had shrunk down to a retired old man sitting in a chair, running out the clock. And I'll tell you something true about that. If you wake up in the morning with nothing on the other side waiting for you, nothing that needs you, your body picks up on that signal, and it starts preparing for the exit. And one morning, and I really couldn't tell you why I did it, I walked out back to the garden. No plan, just walked out there, and I spotted a weed pushing up near the tomato plants. I bent down and pulled it. Then I saw another one, pulled that one too, then another. I don't know how much time passed, but eventually I looked up, and it had been almost 2 hours. I was on my knees in the dirt, hands completely black, breathing hard, absolutely worn out. When I came back inside, Margaret was standing right there at the door. She didn't say a word. She just looked at me. But I knew that look. That was not a look you forget. That was a look of a woman who had been waiting. Not for an hour, not for a week. She had been waiting for years for me to come back to myself. And something had cracked open out there in that dirt. I had found something to go toward. I wasn't just sitting in that chair waiting anymore. A purpose doesn't need to be grand. It doesn't need to change the world. It just has to be strong enough to pull you up out of the chair in the morning. For me, it was that garden. When I turned 70, I started walking 20 minutes every single day, rain or shine. I know every crack and every corner of that sidewalk out front. I know which neighbor puts their trash cans out too early. I know where the pavement dips. Those small, ordinary, repetitive routines, they kept me going. If I had spent those years just sitting inside waiting for something to arrive, you would not be watching this right now. Every single day, I gave myself a reason. Nothing huge, nothing impressive. Stopping to argue with the old man on the corner about whether the Eagles had any business making that trade. Putting on a record at 7 in the evening and just letting it play. Watching for that particular angle of afternoon light that comes through this window every day right around 4 o'clock, like it's showing up just for me. Small things, embarrassingly small things, but they kept me tethered to being here.
Every morning I had somewhere to go, even if it was just outside to check on the tomatoes. The ones I watched disappear the fastest, and I watched a lot of people disappear. They were the ones who retired from work and from purpose at the exact same time. They sat down, and the body, which is smarter than we give it credit for, got the message. Stomachs full of perfectly clean food, blood pressure right on target, and they just drifted away, slowly, quietly, because there was nothing on the other side of the morning pulling them forward. Now here's the piece I haven't said yet, the piece that actually cost the most. Margaret left 11 years ago, 12 this October. The years blur into each other after a while. That's one of the hardest things about living this long. The edges between years start to dissolve.
You stop being sure whether something happened 4 years ago or 6. The morning after she was gone, I woke up at 6 the same as always, out of pure habit. I walked into that kitchen and I made 2 cups of coffee, put them both on the table, and then I sat there and stared at those 2 cups for a very long time. I couldn't drink mine, and I couldn't pour hers out either, so I just left it there, sat with it. The coffee went cold, the light in the kitchen shifted. An hour had gone by, maybe longer. I honestly don't know how long I sat there. And then at some point I realized I was still breathing. I was still sitting upright in that chair. I was still in this house, still here. And the day wasn't going to stop for me. The hours were moving whether I got up or not. So I got up. I went out back to the garden, pulled a few things, walked my 20 minutes, came back inside, called my son, Robert. Didn't have anything big to say, we just talked, nothing remarkable. And somewhere in the middle of that ordinary, painful, completely unremarkable day, I found one small reason, not a big one, not a life-changing one, just enough. That is the only real secret I have ever had. Every single day, you have to find a reason. Some days that reason is so small it barely takes up any space, but you find it anyway. My son Robert is 78 years old, lives about 40 minutes from here. Last spring he called me up and said he'd been meaning to get over to see me. Said work had been keeping him busy. Said he'd come when things settled down a little. I said, Robert, I am 105 years old. You come now, or you come when I'm already in the ground. That's the choice. He came that Saturday. We sat on this porch together for 6 hours straight. He told me things he had been carrying around inside him for 30 years and never said out loud to anybody. I told him things I should have had the sense to say when he was 40 years old. We lost a lot of time being busy. That day we got some of it back. He comes every 3 weeks now. Every 3 weeks he drives 40 minutes and sits with me. And I'll tell you something I know for certain now that I didn't understand when I was younger. Having real people close to you, people who actually show up, that is not a luxury. That is not a nice extra thing. That is part of what keeps the engine running. I know that now in a way I wish I had known it at 50. And one more thing, because I'm too old to dress things up and make them sound better than they are. Part of why I'm still here is luck. Plain, simple luck that I had nothing to do with. My father made it to 94. My grandmother lived past 90. The body I was handed when I came into this world had good material in it, good bones, decent genes, something running in the background that I can't take credit for. I could stand here and tell you it was entirely willpower and discipline and making all the right choices, but that would only be part of the truth. And at 105 years old, I have absolutely nothing left to protect by telling you half-truths. Those are for younger people who still have something at stake. My name is Walter. I am 105 years old. This morning I woke up at 6, made my coffee, walked out to the garden for a few minutes. I can't get down on my knees the way I used to, so I just stand there and look, check on things. I watched the morning light come in through the back, came inside, put on a record, sat down right here in this chair, and I looked over at the empty chair across from me, and I said good morning to it, the way I do every single day. Eat real food. Move your body every day, even if it's just 20 minutes around the block. Keep the people that matter close to you. Don't let busy be the reason you lose them. and find something, anything, that makes the act of opening your eyes in the morning feel like it was worth doing. But more than all of that, stop just pushing through your days like there's something to survive. A person can make it all the way to 105 and still have left a long time ago in every way that actually counts, still have been somewhere else for most of it, waiting to finally arrive at the real thing. The days are not in your way. The days are the whole thing. That's all I've got, but I think that's enough.